My parents secretly planned to control our wedding gift money. Camille and I found out and quietly outmaneuvered them before the ceremony ever started. I knew something was wrong the moment my mother said, "We've already handled it," because no one had asked me anything. 3 weeks before our wedding, I helped my brother carry boxes into the apartment my parents had essentially assembled for him. His wife unpacked dishes she hadn't picked, smiled at a color palette she hadn't chosen, and moved into a life that had been quietly designed around her. My brother seemed content. I repeated that word to myself the whole drive home. Content, not thrilled, not free, content. Camille and I had been together 2 years when my mother sat me down at the kitchen table, not to discuss the wedding, but to explain it to me. There's a difference. She laid out the financial structure with the calm confidence of someone who'd already decided her side of the family would contribute a significant wedding gift, which my parents would hold in a joint account for safekeeping until Camille and I were ready to manage it responsibly. She smiled through the entire thing, like she was giving us something. That night, I told Camille what my mother had said. She went quiet in that particular way she does, where I can see her weighing whether to say the difficult thing or protect me from it. She chose honesty. "Your mom called my mom last week," she said, sitting very still. Told her the same plan. My mom agreed because she didn't want conflict before the wedding. I lay awake until nearly 3 a.m., running through every possible interpretation of what my mother had said, looking for the version that wasn't what it obviously was. I wanted to be wrong. I thought about how genuinely my parents had celebrated my brother, how present they'd been, how warm. I kept searching for the charitable reading. I couldn't find one. I didn't confront anyone. I kept showing up to planning dinners, nodding at linen options, letting my mother forward vendor quotes to my inbox like everything was fine. Camille and I had one real conversation about it, clear-eyed, no tears, no anger, and then we made a decision together and never revisited it out loud again. Her parents quietly moved the intended gift into an account my parents had no access to. We told no one. The wedding was genuinely beautiful, and I refused to let the rest of this story take that from me. Camille's aunt sang during the ceremony and broke half the room open. My grandfather danced for the first time in years. Actually danced, grinning the whole time. There were moments that evening when I forgot everything except how completely certain I was about the woman standing next to me. My parents glowed all night. My mother straightened my tie twice. My father's toast mentioned family legacy 4 times in 3 minutes. I thanked them both publicly and meant most of it. The morning after, Camille and I left for a 10-day trip we'd planned without mentioning it to anyone. Work had been arranged, mail was forwarded. There was nothing waiting for us anywhere that couldn't wait. My phone started lighting up around noon on the second day. I watched the notifications stack without opening them. My mother, my father, my mother again. Then a message from my brother that just said, "Call me when you can," which told me everything I needed to know about who had already spoken to him. I called him that evening. He didn't defend them. He just asked if I was okay, and when I told him I was more than okay, he said he believed me. Then he mentioned he'd been uneasy about the account plan since our mother had floated it casually at a family dinner 6 months ago. That was the first I'd heard of that detail. I called my parents on the 4th day of the trip. My mother picked up before the second ring. I told her we knew, that the money had already been redirected, and that Camille and I were fine. I told her I loved her, and that I had no interest in a drawn-out argument. She cried, which I had expected. My father took the phone and told me I was making something out of nothing, which I had also expected. I said I'd call again in a few weeks, and I meant that too. I'm not someone who severs ties easily. They're still my parents. But last month I watched Camille unpack our own dishes into our own kitchen, in an apartment we chose together, and something moved across her face that I never saw on my brother's. That expression, that specific, quiet, unperformed happiness, is the only part of the story that actually matters.